Good day. Once again, you are on to productive parenting. Today, we are going to be looking at things to be done after the delivery stage, postnatal, post delivery parenting. And as well, we are going to be looking at the role of the father in postnatal parenting. It's important here to know that when a woman is pregnant and expecting a baby, expecting to be a parent, the role of a father is extremely important. There has to be a father figure. Both parents must be present in the raising of a child. I understand that in some cases, you might find that a person who, for example, teenage pregnancies, sometimes the father denied the pregnancy and things like that, or maybe sometimes the father is not no longer alive or not around. It still doesn't take away from the fact that the mother needs to make sure that there is a father figure present. It could be anyone, but someone that she trusts. It could be her brother, could be a grandfather, it could be a religious leader, trusted ones. It could be anyone. It could even be a female member of the family, but there has to be two people involved in the raising of a child. In the raising of a child, where the father is not available, the mother must find some kind of agreement with a father figure because it is needed for a complete development of a child and for productive parenting. That being said, we are going to look at certain things that a woman needs to do after the delivery, postnatal parenting. And the purpose of postnatal parenting is to teach the mother and with the father, of course, many things that they need to know concerning raising the baby at that stage. A lot of hospitals have elaborate schemes to elaborate curricula concerning how mothers should be taught postnatal. It's also to be registered for, and there are also classes in most standard hospitals for this kind of postnatal care. Part of the things that the mothers are taught are how to take care of the baby. There are a lot of things about the baby after delivery that the mother needs to be going through. She needs to know how to keep the baby clean. There are things like the umbilical cord being cleaned properly. Also, if a child is circumcised, soon after delivery, the male children are circumcised in many cultures. And piercings are also made in the ears for some cultures in the female children. These are wounds that need to be properly taken care of. Antenatal tells you what to do, what not to do, how to clean, how regularly to clean things to avoid. A lot of women, as a result of advice from the traditional aspect, like in the Benin tradition, there are some people who advise the use of dung, which is very bad. It could lead to a lot of complications. There's also a kind of a leaf. I think the Benin call it amokwe, and is used for the umbilical cord. That is also not advisable. These are there are a lot of herbal remedies that are good and work, but these two that I've mentioned are not advisable. They could lead to complications in the cleaning of the baby, in the cleaning of the wounds of the baby. So these are things that are learned in the postnatal clinic that the mother needs to go through. There are a lot of other things to how to take care of herself post delivery. You have mothers sometimes who went through cesarean section, mothers who also had episiotomies, how to keep themselves clean under these situations. They are also taught in postnatal classes how to breastfeed, and then finally immunization. Very important part of postnatal care is immunization. There's a schedule of vaccines that children need to go through usually from birth till about 9 months, a series of them that are very, very important in order to keep the baby healthy and keep the baby alive for throughout the period of infancy and of childhood. I made a list of them. This is the 2008 schedule. I couldn't get my hands on something later than earlier than the 2008 schedule. There may be a better, a more recent schedule out there, but this is what I could get my hands on. I made a list of them. The first one here is polio, which is the OPV, is given at birth. Then there's a BCG, also given at birth. There's a hepatitis HBV, given also at birth. Then there's a polio vaccine that's given at 6 weeks. Then the hepatitis vaccine, which is given also at 6 weeks. Then there's also another polio vaccine given at 10 weeks. These things follow in a particular order. So if you are going to making your own list, it comes in a particular order. But when you are in the postnatal clinic, there's a calendar for it, so it's difficult to miss. Then there's another polio, after the 10 weeks polio vaccine, there's another one at 14 weeks. Then there's hepatitis vaccine at 14 weeks as well. And then there's a measles vaccine at 9 months. Then a yellow fever vaccine at 9 months. And this yellow fever vaccine should be repeated every 10 years. Then the mother on her own side gets a vitamin A dose at the point of delivery. She gets a vitamin A dose, and then the baby is also given at 9 months a vitamin A dose too, and then it is to be repeated, that vitamin A dose to be repeated every 6 months until the baby is 5 years. Now, that is the primary thing that is the most important thing of part of postnatal care, the immunization. Now, there are other kinds of vaccines given to children. Several hospitals have their own special kind of schedule. It's something that the parent needs to investigate if they need them, how important they are to the child, and if they can be afforded. I hear some of them can also be expensive, but these ones are the basic ones that the parent needs to let the child undergo to be able to maintain the child's health. Now, from there, we are going to be going into the role of the father in postnatal parenting. Like I said, the man should be involved. A lot of things the man does for the wife, it is not proper for a man to be very far from the wife and the child after delivery. There are a lot of waking up at night happens after a baby is born. The father should be part of it to help calm the baby after feeding at night, making sure to help the mother with chores and running errands. And also, it's very important that the father accompanies the mother to postnatal classes. Sometimes information comes to the mother and she might forget, and she needs the father to be able to take care and remind her of this important information. There are also a lot of things in reminding the mother of immunization dates, also helping the mother with taking care, dressing wounds, episiotomy wounds. If the man has a little first aid knowledge, he can help with dressing of the wounds or wounds from cesarean section operations. The man has a whole lot to do while the woman is in the postnatal stage. It is not advisable that the father should be far from the child. If you are going to what you're going for is for productive parenting, it's not advisable that the man stay far from his child, because the closeness during this period helps with bonding. Bonding in the future of the child helps with the relationship that the father is going to have with the child. And so there's a lot of carrying of the child that the father needs to do. It will help him to bond with the child, help him to learn about children. There are little things that he may learn while helping the mother with the postnatal taking care of, that will help him to raise his children. Fathers, the thing we learned while growing up as Africans is that a father has no business after the woman has delivered, but we are determined that that is not true. How close a father is to, especially to a female child, is very important. Very important. The father needs to be very close to the female child. It helps a lot psychologically, especially in the future, but not just the female child, also the male child. It helps a lot when the father is around and make sure he's involved with everything. Everything. There are no role discriminations when it comes to postnatal care of a child. The father has to be around and available for everything. That's why some of us are pushing for um, uh, father, um, what they call delivery leave, paid leave for fathers who are working, for them to be able to be available while all this is going on. We are hoping that a lot of governments all over the world will see the need for the father to be present at that early stage of training the child, and to make sure that the child doesn't miss the father and that care that he needs to be there giving. So the take home for today is to make sure that the father is available for the immunization process, and to make sure that the immunization schedule, as is spelled out by the hospital, is strictly adhered to by both parents to ensure that the child grows up well without any issues. Skipping immunizations is very dangerous. It can lead to a lot of health emergencies in the future for the child. Like I always say, the purpose is not to make the videos too long. We're going to be ending here. Please do well to use the comment section of the video to ask questions, and to also to request for topics that you would like me to treat. Use the comment section to ask questions concerning each video, and also if you have some topics you would like me to treat, something you don't know about that you would like to learn about, please also use the comment section. Remember to like and to share and to subscribe so you know when new videos come up. Thank you.